Now let's get some analysis. Senior political analyst Brit Hume has the latest take on this plan. Good evening, Brit.
Good evening to you, Brett. For the second time in a week, President Obama has presented a plan that cannot possibly pass and that he almost certainly does not expect to pass. Last week's jobs bill was simply another stimulus of the kind that he and his party rammed through 2 years ago, and which has manifestly failed to do what the White House said it would do. One thing it did do was to help balloon the federal deficit to levels so high they became a major issue in the midterm elections, won overwhelmingly by the Republicans. Does Mr. Obama really think House Republicans who voted unanimously against the first stimulus will now vote in favor of a second one? Now the president proposes to deal with the swollen deficit with a package he says will cut it by some $3 trillion over 10 years. This would be accomplished, as has been noted, principally by raising taxes by $1.5 trillion. Another trillion plus would come from counting as savings war funds the president never planned to spend in the first place. Another $430 billion would come from lower interest payments, which would result if the rest of his plan were to pass, which it won't. The two plans, the jobs bill and the deficit bill, are legislative losers. But Mr. Obama thinks they'll prove political winners that he can use against the Republicans effectively next year. But that assumes people will even remember a year from now that he even offered them. Brett?
Brit, Jim mentioned entitlement reform and what's happening in this package. You know, back in December, the president chose to largely avoid the Deficit Debt Commission recommendations. He didn't talk about it extensively in the State of the Union address. And despite the debt ceiling increase back and forth, now he's walked away from that as well.
He seems to have, and the striking thing about that is that in a real sense, entitlement reform presents a political opportunity for the president. A lot of Republicans would go for it. A combination of entitlement reform and tax reform would be a major achievement. Republicans would join in to get it done. Independents would love it, and it might give the president a situation where he could break out of this box he's in, where he's got almost unanimous Republican and heavy independent opposition to him, which I think will prevent his reelection unless he does something big.
But it's perilous on the left.
Well, the left will hate it, but where are they going? You know, who are they going to vote for? Ralph Nader? I don't think so.
Brit, as always, thanks. U.S. home builders are